So here we are in the Mods Museum, and how appropriate, or ironic, perhaps appropriate is a better word, that we're here because it all started with Leo Weidenthal. Back in 1916, Leo Weidenthal, then a reporter for PD and a Shakespeare devotee, inaugurated the Shakespeare Garden as part of the centenary of his death. This whole idea of celebrating Shakespeare was sort of a worldwide movement that was occurring, and here in Cleveland it was demonstrated by the installation of a Shakespeare bust in what was the Rockefeller Park. For that event, Mr. Weidenthal invited film icon Ethel Barrymore and a leading Shakespearean actress, Julia Marlowe, for the occasion. Hawthorns, elms, and English oaks were planted at the dedication. Flowers depicted in Shakespeare's play were planted in a Victorian design. However, Mr. Weidenthal felt that the garden, and this is a quote, was standing alone and failed to represent the entire picture of the cultural backgrounds of the Cleveland citizens. Right about that time, World War I erupted, and the immigration from Europe slowed down or ceased, but the industrial age revved up. And the city at that time was quite robust and a center of activity and center of diversity. Because it was during the war and after war, memorials to the fallen heroes were planted in countries, in cities throughout the country. Here in Cleveland, it was embodied by planting oak trees along what was just a very small road in the bottom of the valley of the park, and it became known as the Liberty Boulevard. Now it's known as MLK Boulevard, Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. So it was in this spirit of post-World War enthusiasm and the great diversity that the city of Cleveland had, that the idea of creating a park representing and featuring these various nationalities was pioneered by Leo Weidenthal. He, along with other nationality leaders, formed a group to promote the idea and convince the leadership in Cleveland to allow these gardens to take place. Their purpose was to create a park representing the pluralistic nature of Cleveland citizens, then one of the most diverse cities. The hope was to advance civilization and the course of peace by the cultures represented locally through mutual understanding. That theme of mutual understanding carries through the gardens from its beginning to today. The more we understand each other's culture, the more we understand each other, the more difficult it is to wage a war. So the idea of understanding each other's background very much supports the idea of continuous peace. In 1927, the City Council designated the Poets' Garden, and shortly thereafter, in 1930, the City Council formally established the Cleveland Cultural Gardens. In quick succession, 14 gardens were put in place, many of which you can see here at the displayed, or all of which, I should say, you can see here displayed at the boards on the wall. Today there are 26. So the Cleveland Cultural Gardens are growing. In just last 4 or 5 years, we have added, I would say, about 4 gardens, which is a great testament to the fact that even though there was a difficult period in the Cultural Gardens history, we have overcome that, and people are coming back, discovering the park, visiting the gardens, whether it's by the way of Lolly the Trolley, or walking tours, or just visiting the websites. But there's more and more interest, and we are growing, whether it's the new gardens or the great amount of effort that's going into restoring the original gardens. We're definitely moving ahead and on the upswing. So, for that reason, it's so great to be here and have you supporting us. We pledge to you that the movement will continue, the interest is growing, and your support is appreciated and will be put to good use. So again, thank you for coming tonight, and thank you, by the way, we do have members of Leo Weidenfeld's family here. They're standing somewhere. If you would raise your hand, they're sitting way back there. How great it is to have the descendants of the man who started it all be here with us. The circle is complete, or I should say, it's never complete. It spirals, and then it keeps moving up, and that's our promise to you.